What's up, guys? Dr. Chris Park here, and today I got a question for you. So, what has been your experience with Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, AA, NA, etc.? Do you have strong feelings for or against? If you could leave a comment, let me know, because for a long time, I'm trying to think of the best way to say it. I don't know if I was not like the biggest fan of AA and NA. Now, I know for a fact AA works for a lot of people, particularly with alcohol, right? And I know it can be extremely helpful. And if you've watched, some of my videos, you know that I'm not this guy who thinks there's only one way to do things, okay? I think people need different approaches, right? Because people are different. Your history is different, your biology is different, your chemistry is different, etc. But my experience, a lot of times with AA or NA, because I've never been through those programs, but my experience comes from studying them and then interacting with patients and friends who have been through these systems. And it seemed to be one that was like very dogmatic, very judgmental. And so a lot of my patients who were on medication assistance would feel like, that they either couldn't speak up and talk about what was really going on, because if they're on medicines, then they would be, kind of condemned for not being sober, not being clean. So they would either have to lie, or, they would just have to not be, the perfect AA person or whatever. So, and this was very frustrating. It was frustrating for me as a doctor trying to help these people, and then also because when you're in the addiction world and you're talking to somebody else who's like a counselor or whatever, and they're heavy into the AA, but if they kind of feel like, well, they don't want their patients on medications, and then you're thinking, well, can't really send my patients to you for counseling, then it just kind of becomes a problem. Whereas I've always felt like, man, we need a system approach. We need to approach this as a community, because people with addictions, they don't just suffer biologically or medically. They suffer psychologically, they suffer spiritually, they suffer in their relationships and how they function in society and in the community that they live in. And so they need help fundamentally, from this systems-based approach. But if we're all kind of arguing against each other on what's the best approach, it's very difficult to help the patient, right? So that being said, I was kind of a little bit against it, but the more that I've now, like, I have a friend, and he went through the AA, and it really changed his life, as far as his alcohol addiction. And guess what? He had some pain issues and some opiate dependence, and he's on medication assistance now, right? And so for him, he's able to make that balance work. And so he's a big believer in the steps. And so I'm curious too, if you've had, pros or cons with AA or NA, did you actually work the steps? Like, what I found is most people who have a problem with AA or NA, they either didn't work the steps, or the problem wasn't because of the work you were supposed to do, right? The problem was more, fundamentally these other issues I've been talking about. But the thing I like about it, right, is it gives you this structure to follow, these things to do. And I think people need that, I'm a big believer that people's lives need to be structured, okay? They need to have an order to them. And you order things in order of importance, okay? Now, as a religious person, I think that there is a structure to life. There is an order to life. There are things that are meaningful that our lives should be centered around and based around. And I find that is an underlying structure that works. Now, again, using the structure does not mean you're automatically sober, right? Or clean. It doesn't even necessarily make it easy. But when you start to make hard choices and do difficult things, it makes a difference in your life. You know, when you start sacrificing certain things in your life in order to have better things, it makes a difference in life. And so, our goal should always be, the meaningful things, the relationships, the people in our lives, right? Our community, staying clean, and living that fruitful, powerful life. You don't have to be famous. You don't have to cure cancer. You can be a small town family doctor. But you have to order your life in a way that you're seeking out what's meaningful and what's important, And, wow, I've really gone off rambling now, but I think you get the point. So the message here, I wanted to throw out this video. I wanted to get some ideas from you. Have you worked the 12 steps? Did they work for you? Or did you have other problems? Or are you a big thumbs up when it comes to AA and NA? What kind of structure did you follow to help you live a clean and meaningful life? All right, guys, let me know. Drink some coffee. Love your neighbor. Peace.